The only reason they would be promoting Bill Clinton is because they're trying to sell neoliberalism still. They're still trying to sell it. And this guy, Patrick Ruffini, I don't know who he is. He's just another, again, shit-lib journalist who is in New York or DC. And he says the debate about the future of the Democratic Party begins and ends with this photo. All they've got to do is turn the clock back 30 years and do exactly what he did. So let's talk about what he did.
Oh, they've run out of ideas.
Talk about it. Let's make sure that we do this the right way.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is the person that they are all circling the wagons around. Well, they're not actually circling the wagons around him specifically.
They're using him.
They're using him to sell their neoliberalism.
It's nostalgia. What they're selling is nostalgia for the people that want to go back to, in their mind, good times. They want to go back to those good times. The 90s. It was just so much fun. Just everybody living well beyond their means, building up tons of credit card debt, ending up in a complete financial economic shitstorm, but they were living large. So he represents this sort of like nostalgia for the libs that they would still argue only got ruined because of Bush.
Patrick Ruffini. Oh, this really goes to show you who this guy's all about. Patrick Ruffini is a Republican Party pollster and political strategist. He founded Engage LLC, a DC-based political media firm, and now runs the political research and intelligence firm Echelon Insights. So he's also intelligence. So yeah, that would track properly that this is who this guy's pushing. And yet, all the while, it is pretty obvious that this is a person like a very select few of others that really benefited in a substantial way from having him as president. And that, in many respects, I think is the big issue here. They're all caught up in this whole notion that, yeah, he was great for the country. He balanced the budget, right? Is that what he did? Okay. So they've got not only did Democrats defend Clinton's private affairs as no one's business, this position was wildly popular among voters who rejected the prudishness of the Christian right. Yes, and I think most people probably still feel the same way. That hasn't changed. But again, what exactly are we talking about here when we're talking about policy?
There's a point to it, Colinello. Wait for the point. We're coming full circle with this, okay? Hold on to your pants.
This is a person who claims to be a commie too, which is kind of funny.
They're using Bill Clinton for a very specific purpose, to sell a narrative and to sell a concept. And that's the concept they're going to be pushing for 28. So that's what we're talking about. But this is where it starts. Oh, good God.
Somebody say something about selling a concept for a few bucks. Hey, I'm here and ready to sell.
Of course you are.
Jen, it's great to see you. It's been a little while. How are you doing these days?
I'm better with you not next to me.
Well, I wish I could tell you where I was, but I've been a certain type of witness protection for a while. But I just want to go through some of the line items. We've got a few of these here. I'm not doing as well as I was in the olden days, but I still got my ways.
Are you going to give us your proud achievements as president?
I'm very proud of my achievements. I got to tell you, I know I hurt a lot of people along the way, but if you haven't noticed, I've got 9 figures in the bank, and that's a lot of money. I know it's a lot of blood money, but hey, it's still mine. You can't take it away from me. So I want to remind you all, people, of exactly what I accomplished as president with a Democratic supermajority for the first 2 years that I was in office. And of course, the first one off the bat, which was probably the most important one that I can never say enough good things about, because, hey, we're about free trade, aren't we, baby?
Oh, yes.
I passed NAFTA in 1993 as part of my first 100 days. I know that healthcare is what you wanted, but free trade for the super rich is exactly what you got. So I'm happy with that one. Who's to say that if we elect another shitlib like me, that we might be able to finally get the TPP passed? I think you'd all appreciate that one. And so after that, we also did welfare reform. You remember that one?
I do.
That's right. That's our Democrats. We did that. How do you think we balanced the budget in the first couple of years? That was the magic of trying to take things away from the poor and just giving them over to the rich. That's how we were able to justify reducing the top marginal tax rate to 39.6%. I really can't say enough about how good the press was to us. And there's a reason why the press was very good to us.
Does that bring you to your next crowning achievement?
Yeah, we passed the Telecom Act. And you know what that did? In 1995, we had over 50 media companies in the United States. And by the end of my presidency, we were down to 6. Ain't that amazing? Ain't that something special?
Oh,
That
it's
made a
special.
lot of people rich, a lot of people powerful. And if I do must say, there is another very important policy that us super Democrats, led by Joe Biden, was able to accomplish in my first 2 years in office. There was this little thing called the crime bill. You know, we could have actually improved the cities by improving education and more economic opportunity like trade schools and ending the drug war. You know, there's lots of things that we could have done, but instead what we did was 3 strikes, you're out and you go to prison. And well, we know what happened with places like Geo Group, the for-profit prison industry. They got really rich thanks to me, and I'm sure they still appreciate it to this day. But if you think I did enough on the domestic side, I ain't done yet. You know, I'm the one who's responsible for normal trade relations with China. I did that. That's me. I did normal trade relations with China, which means that all of you working stiffs in the upper Midwest and the heartland and the Great Plains who was dependent upon FDR and JFK and Eisenhower-like policies for the better part of the 20th century, and all that got taken away when I got there because we're not about labor. We're about management and investing, and we're not about workers. We haven't been for a long time. And I can assure you, we never will be again.
No.
So just remember, if you're ever questioning whether or not the Democratic Party hates workers, yes, we do. Very much so. But you're still suckers who vote for us anyway. So that's why we love Trump. He just makes it a lot easier for us to sell our bullshit to the country. And so normal trade relations with China, you would think, would have been the death knell for our future as a party. But I got to tell you, I still did worse than that, Jen. Can you
I
believe
know. I know what you're going to say.
I know you think what I'm going to say is that I had sexual relations with an intern in my office when I shouldn't have. And while that's really terrible, and I know people in the moral majority would never approve of such illicit behavior, I got to tell you, I actually did something that is actually as bad as any domestic policy in the history of the United States. Would you care to guess what that one is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going to be proud of repealing Glass-Steagall.
Yeah, I got to tell you, that very popular policy that FDR passed during his first or second term, whatever the hell it was before I was even alive, I decided that there should be no distinction between commercial banks and investment banks. And if you want to know why you can't afford a house today, if you want to know why the dollar's not worth dick, if you want to know why this country is going straight to hell, if there is one policy I could pin it on, it is the repeal of Glass-Steagall. And I did that one as well. But that's also why the banks paid me a hell of a lot of money. And that's why I'm a very rich man today.
All right, let's talk about why this is relevant now.
Well, the reason why it's relevant now is because they're still trying to fix that party that is in my and Hillary's image, even though it's more my image because I actually won something and she didn't win shit.
There's that.
That's one side of it. Now, Hillary would beat me up if she heard me say that out loud. This isn't seen by too many people now, is it? No, I didn't think so.
We're growing.
But the point is, I know that there are some really solid neo-lib Zionist Democrats out there that are going to save this party from any type of a working class Palestinian Arab takeover, and we just can't have that, Jen. You know we can't. It's unacceptable behavior.
So, all All right. Are we going to get to the point of all this, though?
We need to make sure that either Gavin Newsom, Josh Shapiro, maybe Gretchen Whitmer, if I don't get a hold of her first, or maybe Mr. Pritzker, a few others mixed in, they're the ones who think they're going to be the next president of the United States. And the best way to sell that is to sell me. And I'm a great guy to sell. So I hope you all enjoyed my revision of history, the honest revision of history, not the ones that the others are going to sell you on. Remember, there's only one bill, and there only will be one bill. But as long as I'm alive, the Democratic Party will be the Clintons forever. Bye.
So the reason why this is important, and, you know, I think that he, as is Obama, is somebody that the Dems will always drag out for appearances when they feel like they need to rally people up. But the problem is it's really not working anymore. And as we saw when Obama came out for Kamala, it fell flat almost every single time.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see more of that. But the reason that they're propping up Bill and they're going to bring him out, they're trying to remind people of how better things were. Things were better. Things were calmer. You weren't as worried. We weren't on the brink of World War III. Things were better with Bill. We need to bring back this kind of liberal policy. And they're going to try to then transfer that over to the likes of Gavin Newsom and whoever else they're going to put up.
Yeah.
And again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. They're done. It won't work. They will not win another national seat. They're done. But their campaigning is clearly now what they're doing. They're showing you their strategy. They're not coming out and offering any sort of economic relief. They're not coming out and offering an end to endless wars. They're not coming out and offering people anything that we want. I don't see them offering health care. I don't see them doing jack shit. So by doing this, they're just trying to go on your feelings, because that's all Democrats do. It's about your feelings. They need you to feel comfortable so that you could go back to brunch. And they think that people like that will bring you back into that fold. We've got this. We're good. Look, Bill's still here and things were great. So you need to just come back this way. And they're going to try to paint someone like Gavin Newsom as a Bill Clinton. And maybe he is. I don't know. But we have now seen that that doesn't work. That's what led us to what we are now. Peter and I were talking earlier, and I believe, he believes, we both believe that Bill Clinton, hands down, has been the worst president in our lifetime as far as domestic policies go and the economy in this country.
And it's not close.